Volume of rectangular prisms. But before we do that, let's go over our last lesson over area of trapezoids. So Malia wants to make the International Marine Signal flag shown. What is the area of the flag? So if you turn your head around, you will see an isosceles trapezoid. Again, what's a trapezoid? It has one set of parallel lines. So the formula for it is this. It is half of the height times the base 1 plus base 2. You're adding these two up, or the quantity of it. Or another way to do it is height times b1 plus b2 divided by 2. Because half is really just dividing by 2. So we're going to replace, so let's label this. If you turn your head, this is the height. This is b1, this is b2. It's up to you, because some kids always say, which one is B1, and which was the base 1, base 2? You can flip it around because, you know, in commutative property, you add forward or backward, it will be the exact same answer. So let's use the first formula. So half of the height, and you add the two bases up. So what's half of 100? 50. And what is, if you add up the sum of the two bases, 35. So 50 times 35 is, let's see if we do it in my head, 1,750 squared inches. If you did not like this one, you could have done it this way. You add the two bases times the height. So it would have been 100 times 35 would be 3,500. Divided by 2, 1,750 squared inches. So again, to do area of trapezoid, you do half of the height times the sum of the two bases. All right, so in today's lesson, we're talking about volume of rectangular prisms. In volume of rectangular prism, some of you may have learned it in science class. The formula is V equal LWH, or volume is equal to length times width times height. Because volume is capacity, it's how much it holds. When we did area, it's just length times width. That's the base of it. Now we have to include the height of it. So it could be in a cube shape, it could be in a rectangular prism shape. So another way to look at it is V equal capital BH. In 6th grade, we only focus on this, but when you go to 7th, 8th grade, you're going to see a lot of capital B. Capital B means what is the area of the base of it? So this is a box. The area of the base is 5 times 2. Then you multiply it by its height, which is 6. So, what is the length? 5. What is the width? 2. Length, width, height. So length is how long is this box, rectangular prism. How wide is the rectangular prism? How high? The height is 6 inches. So fill in the blanks. So 5 inches times 2 inches times 6 inches. 5 times 2 is 10 times 6 is 60 cubic inches. So before we had all squared to the power 2. Now it's to the power 3. Well, you might say, well, why? Well, first of all, it's three-dimensional. That's one reason why it's cubic. It's in a cube shape. That's why it's to the power 3. We call it cubic inches. Another reason is when you multiply inches by inches by inches, it's inches cubed, or to the power 3. Next one. So if you had used the other formula of V equal capital BH, what's the area of this base? The area of the base is a rectangle, first of all. The base is a rectangle. You can tell it's a rectangular shape. And what's the area? That would be 12. Then you multiply it by its height of 8.5. Or some of you are very familiar with length, width, and height. So what's this length? 6 inches. Width is 2 inches. Height is 8 and 5/10 inches. So we have 6 inches, 2 inches, and 8 and 5/10 inches. 6 times 2 is 12. 12 times 8 and a half. 10 carry to 1 is 6. 16 carry to 1, 9, 0, 12. Don't forget the decimal point. I've noticed a lot of kids forget the decimal point. It's 10th place, so your decimal point goes into 10th place. So it's 102 cubic inches. is the volume of it. This is the capacity of how much it holds. Because volume is how much space it will hold if we fill it in. So let's try another one. Find the volume of this. So is volume equal length times width times height, or volume equal capital BH? If you find the area of this base, so the area of base is a rectangle, so it's length times width, or base times height, and then times the height again. So in this one, let's do 12 times 3.5. You know what? I'm going to turn it into a decimal, 3.5 times 10. So 12 times 3.5 times 10. A couple ways you can do it. I could do a social property where I multiply 12 and 10, which is 120. 120 times 3.5. Or I could multiply 12 times 3.5 times 10. Whatever you want to do. I'm going to multiply 12 times 3.5. That's 10. Carry the 1 is 6. 6, 3, 0, 12. 420. Don't forget the decimal point is 42. So 42 times 10 is 420 cubic meter. Cubic meter. This is in the shape of a cube, so cubic meter. 3-dimensional, too. Olympic gold medal winner Sam Joe, that's me by the way, swam in a pool with required dimensions. 5 1/4 meters by 10 meters by 3 meters. What is the volume of the Olympic-sized pool? So if I would like to draw this swimming pool, so it said it is 10 meters by 5 1/4 meter by 3 meters. So volume equals length times width times height, or it could be volume equal capital B times height, or what's the area of the base? It was a rectangle, so you multiply the two dimensions here, are base times height, 10 times 5 1/4 times the height. So let's do this. So 10 times 5 1/4. So do you want to keep it a fraction, or would you like to turn it into a decimal? 1/4. If something is a fourth of something, you have $1, you divide it to fourths. That's 25 cents. So it's 5 at 2,500. So it's 10 times 5 24 times 3. Many ways you can do this. You can multiply 10 times 3, 30 times 5.25, or you can multiply 5.25 times 10. So, I don't know. I'm going to do 10 times 3 this time, 30. So 5 2,500 times 30, 0, 0, 0, 15. The placeholder goes here. If you want to, draw a placeholder. 15, carry the 1. That's 7. That's 15. 0, 5, 7, 1, 5. Don't forget a decimal point. This is two places. 157 and 50. What are the units? Cubic meters. So 157 and 5/10. Or another way to do it is, you want to turn it back to fraction, 157 and a half cubic meters. Mr. Joe is making a box for his celebrity girlfriend. I wonder which one is that? Or who is that? The length of the box is 5. The height is 4. To find the volume of the robot, what else information is needed? They're missing a number here. The material of the box, I don't care about what it's made out of. The color of the box does not matter. She takes anything, probably she likes red or pink. The width of the box, or how much money Mr. Joe has. Well, that is important though. But C is probably the answer. So if I knew the width, I could multiply the length, width, and height. And let's do our last one. So again, the volume is length, width, and height, or another way to do it is volume equal capital BH. This rectangular prism is missing the height. If the volume of the box is 120 cubic centimeter, what is the height? So the volume is 120. The length is 10. The width is 3. They did not tell us the height. So what is 10 times 3? 3. 30 times the height. So 120 is equal to 30 groups of a number. You could guess and check, keep guessing it until you get it. 30 times what is 120? Or you can do it this way. What operation is the opposite of multiply? Divide. So I divide by 30. Divide by 30. 120 divided by 30 is 4 equals a height, or height equals 4 centimeters. To check your work, 10 times 3 is 30, times 4 is 30 times 4 is 120. So that is the answer. All right, so this is the lesson over volume of rectangular prism, where you multiply the length, the width, the height to find the capacity, or how much it holds, or how much space it holds for volume. Or you use capital B, volume equals capital B times H. Capital B means the area of the base. So for these, it will be the length of the width, and then you multiply by the height.